Today on Comic Book Battle, Red Hood and the Outlaws, issue 26, takes on Detective Comics, issue 988. Hey comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and fans, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to do this second episode of Comic Book Battle. And this week, guys, we got two heavyweights, right? First one is Red Hood and the Outlaws. This is issue 26, as we get to see here. And then our next issue is Detective Comics, issue 988. That's right, fans. So, why these two books? Why are they battling each other for supremacy this week? Well, Red Hood and the Outlaws is a perfect jumping on point for readers when it comes to Red Hood, based off of the events of issues 25 and 24 and whatnot. Okay? And Detective Comics, right now, we have James Robinson writing the book, and we have a new story arc going on. And here we also have Bruce still dealing with the loss of the loved one in his life, Selena Kyle. So I felt that this was a good book to go against each other, especially since we just got done with Red Hood actually battling Batman. So let's talk about these two books, shall we? So, first things first here, look at covers, all right? Now, I didn't get the standard covers for these books. I did get the Virgin covers. And if you go by cover purchase here, we get to see the artwork in this one is absolutely superb, as we get to see Jason Todd standing there, dumping the mask, and we get to see bats in the background. Really nice and gorgeous looking cover. Here towards the right, we get to see Batman in the iconic costume, more classic style, not so heavily armored. We get to see the bat signal in the background. We get to see flames and whatnot. So both are really cool covers, but when it goes to a cover contest, which is not truly what this is about, but it does, go into the battle, I gotta give it to Red Hood and the Outlaws, issue 26. It's a gorgeous looking cover. So let's talk about a little bit of what happens in Red Hood and the Outlaws, issue 26, okay? So first things first here is we got Lodell, who's the writer, and Woods is the actual artist in this particular issue. And in this book, we get to see a different type of Jason Todd. He's just much more darker in this issue. He tries this, he's on this bus, and this federal agent winds up getting captured, and he's stopping these particular thugs, from taking out this federal agent and whatnot. And here in this issue, we get to see Jason Todd, how he actually has this new mask that he donned. We still don't quite understand why he's really decided to change his mask. We do know that in this issue, it just says, yeah, I've had partners once. I've lost my partners. I know what that feels like. Does that really have a cause for him to change his whole entire look? Maybe, especially since he got his ass beat by Batman. But I felt like it was such a radical change compared to the annual that you just read when you got done reading this book. It's very dark. He's very angry, and it just seemed very different from the tone that we got based off of the annual issue. So I don't know if we will get more of an explanation on why actually Jason Todd decided to change his look, or is it just simply because of the events that happened with Batman here. We also get to see Jason with a crowbar and a baseball bat. You can see he's taking out someone's teeth in this issue too. So it's a very violent book. But by the time I got to the end of actually reading this book, I was kind of underwhelmed. It's just like he's the lone wolf, the outlaw, the vigilante running from the law. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this at this moment in time. I really like the issues beforehand, But for me, I felt like there was something missing between the annual and now. It just seemed like he flipped the switch and he's no longer the Jason Todd that we kind of knew him in, in the Red Hood and the Outlaws. Alright, so now let's talk about Detective Comics issue 988. Now again, it's a good jumping on point, just like the other issue was. And when it comes to this book, you open it up and you look at the interior artwork, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I think it's awesome. Also, what this book has that the other book doesn't have is that this has that new newspaper type of print or cardstock that they're using for some of their interior books these days. For DC, I don't know what warrants that to use this different type of paper than that magazine paper that Red Hood and Outlaws used. But nevertheless, I like it. It makes it more like a heftier book. It gives you that perception that there is more pages. But nevertheless, it feels like it's a more sturdy book and it's not going to tear in my hands. Also within this book, like I said, the artwork is really good. This feels like a Batman book. Even though I like Tom King's run on Batman, Bruce has just been very emotional, and I've missed the tales of Batman working with Alfred, going out on the town, and actually doing the things that he's supposed to do, which is save Gotham. And in this issue, you get to witness that. You get to see that Batman is going on a mission here to try to solve a case where someone was actually murdered. That's how this book actually opens up. And we get to see good relationship here with Alfred and James Gordon. And when Batman goes digging into the investigation of who this character was, he winds up coming across Firefly, and it's Lady Firefly, and it looks awesome. It's so good looking, and the battle is great. And not only does he come across a Lady Firefly, but he comes across the male Firefly as well. So this book had a lot of action, had me very intrigued of what's going to happen, and who is this mystery man that is actually was killed, because he has to do with the rise of Cobra. Not Cobra from G.I. Joe, but from DC Comics, and I'm not particularly familiar who these guys are. So, very interesting story here. So, which book wins the battle this week? Is it Red Hood and the Outlaws, issue 26, or is it Detective Comics, issue 988? Both have great cover art. Both have pretty good interior art, but one just has a much more solid story and feels like it gets back to the roots of who Batman actually is, where one strays away from the character that maybe he once was. So I feel like that the edge this week has got to go to Detective Comics issue 988. If you have to make a decision because your wallet is tight between two comic books and you're looking for a Bat title, well, again, Detective Comics 988 is the one to go. However, if you can't afford it, I do suggest to pick up Red Hood and the Outlaws, just for the pure reason of, you know what, Jason Todd's going through a new chapter in his life, and if you want to follow where that goes, you can pick that up too. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed this week's comic book battle. Again, leave the discussion below on what you thought of both of these titles, which one you prefer over the other. And fans, as always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that notification button so you don't miss a single video from me. And until that next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off, and I'll see you real soon, fans. Bye.